Foster Watches. I guess we got to do our intro first. Hold on, right?
What's happening, everybody? We're back. I'm sure you're just excited to see mine and George's lovely faces. Seeing that we both have radio faces. But before we get on, we're going to talk about Foster Watches.
Hopefully one of y'all out there have picked up a watch with Kevin's code and saved yourself $30 and got your Christmas shopping started early.
Do that shit early. Don't be sleeping on your Christmas shopping because it'll be December 22nd
and timepieces are forever.
Yeah.
So just go over to Foster, get your thing. If not, go to Blaze and Blaze the shit out of the video.
Because you have a chance to win a free one.
Yeah.
Right here.
Right here?
Right there. That link to Blaze it will be right below us.
Here. You know Cat Williams is going on tour again?
Oh,
and he's not coming to the East Coast.
Oh,
not
good. Anyway, we're going to start about
football.
We're going to talk about some football.
Which side, NFL or college?
Let's talk about NFL first.
Okay. That's easy.
Let's talk about the NFL, even though I fucked up our notes here and stuff like this. But let's just talk about the NFL because what did you feel about this week in NFL?
It's been like the whole entire season. It's just been up and down and up and down, and the teams that are supposed to win aren't supposed to win. And I was most impressed with the Texans this week. They did something the first time in franchise history.
What did they do?
Beat Baltimore.
Oh, they've never.
That's the first time they beat Baltimore. They beat the piss out of Baltimore.
I'm telling you what, man, Baltimore's going to be hurt, man. I don't. For all you Ravens fans that are watching this video, you probably hate me, but hey, I don't know.
Season's over, Hova.
But to me they were a suspect 5-1 team. If you took any team that was 5-1, I thought the Ravens were the worst one.
Chase.
And I thought they could easily be 3-3. And now you got but with all that being said, Terrell Suggs is a nasty motherfucker because he came right back and was doing a pretty good job.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. If they give out ugly awards,
Suggs.
I didn't say who. I'm just saying if they gave out ugly awards.
You know the brother right here. You're looking at him, Kevin, George.
Dude, I'm ugly.
So
I know I'm ugly, but that.
Okay.
Anyway, I think this spells the end for the Ravens. The Ravens have a centerpiece, Ray Rice. They sort of have a quarterback that they still don't really let do much because I don't know if he doesn't have much to throw to.
Right.
But their defense is going to need to revamp.
Yeah,
they got to get younger.
They got to get younger. They got to probably redo everything.
Sticking on defense, Green Bay lost an integral part to their team.
Yeah.
With Charles Woodson broke his collarbone. He's done for the year.
Yeah, that's something that you can't hit anybody with a broken collarbone.
Speaking of that, if you tore your Achilles before the season started, do you think you'd be back by week 7 to play? Just asking.
No.
Yeah. So if you were an athlete and you had happened to tear your Achilles or do others, short of tearing your ACL, what would you do to get back to play by week 7? Or actually week 6.
Growth hormone.
Just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm saying.
That's the route I would go. Anyway, the 49ers edged the Seahawks. That was a tight game.
Dude, Seahawks defense is nasty.
Yeah, they're nasty, man. I mean, the NFC West is...
Their offense is whack, but their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, but I will say, with that being said, right now, 7 games into the season, the NFC West...
We're only 6 games into the season.
Huh?
We're only 6 games in.
No, we're 7. See, your boys are 6. Philly is.
No.
Yes, because the Redskins are 3-4. How much is 3-4, George?
7.
Okay, there you go. Right. But the Eagles are 3-3, so the Georgia to cover your ass for you, anyway. But the NFC West could put 3 teams up from their division.
Might could.
Now it probably won't happen, but they might could. Now the Rams took an ass whipping to Green Bay. Not really an ass whipping, but they lost 30-20. But who really gives a fuck about the scores?
The Rams are tough.
The Rams are tough, man.
The Rams have been in every game, just like your boys.
The Rams and the Redskins, and I'm going to go out right now and say it, are the best 3 and 4 teams out, I think, right now. I really do. I think the Redskins, RG3 is nasty. Well, our defense, our secondary is just pure shit right now. We don't have a safe that can cover, and it's just bad. I'm going to tell you how bad it was. I had to listen to the game, everybody. Okay, let me tell you a story. I was listening to the game freaking out driving, okay, from Pittsburgh. I couldn't watch the fucking game. I had to listen to it on the radio. When I pulled in to go into the house, the Redskins, RG3 had just thrown that lob past the Santana Moss and put them up. Now, all I did was park the car, get my bags, walk right into my house, turn on the TV to see that motherfucker Victor Cruz going. It took like 20 seconds, motherfucker.
2 plays.
20. That's how long.
They ran 2 plays.
2 plays.
They scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Anyway, we got to fix that shit.
Other news in injuries, you got the Chiefs have decided that they're going to go with Brady Quinn and not Castle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. We're going to skip over this other one because it ties into something else.
Right.
Jones-Drew foot, which is an expensive foot, was he's not going to play versus the Packers.
Yeah, that's...
No one gives a shit about the Jets because they lost in overtime.
Right.
A kicker is going to get cut when he's healthy. Sustained bruise knee. Panthers. Now, I wonder what I want to talk about because I did all the work on this one.
Okay.
People are pissing and moaning about the Panthers
and Cam Newton.
And since I have horrible math and I thought we were only on week 6, this is only all I did was compare the first 6 games.
Before you go into comparison, they're really pissing and moaning. There's a lot of pressure, obviously, because there were some moves in the front office. In addition to what you're talking about, they said, "See you bye," kick rocks to the GM.
Yeah.
So that even goes further into what George is going to talk about.
Yeah.
But
so
I'll shut the fuck up.
And one of the reasons why the Panthers GM might have gotten fired as his team went 1-5. Do you know what the Panthers were last year after their first 6 games?
I believe they were the same they are right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you would think that, and you always hear about the sophomore slump and how, and it just doesn't seem like anyone's really high on Cam Newton right now.
Right.
But if you compare his stats, which George did for his...
Pack my fucking bowl with some fucking Cam Newton. Go ahead, man.
Anyway, what I did is I took Cam Newton's first 6 games last year and compared him to his first 6 games this year. The biggest difference is his overall passing yards, and it's only by 500.
Right.
He threw for 1,800 last season and 1,300 this season, but he has 50 less attempts?
Yeah. I mean, his numbers are. I mean, when you look at, he had a couple 400-yard passing games,
which he's yet to do this season.
He's yet to do this season.
He only has 1 game over 300 yards,
and so he had 3 games over 300 yards. So half his games were over 300, and he had. But I mean, he has less picks this year.
Yeah, but it looks like Seattle stifled him because they only got 141 yards going up against Seattle this season. That's not a big word. You need to relax. Stifled is not a big word.
Don't front because you looked at me and started to smile out of the side of your mouth because I've known you fucking, it feels like my entire life. And you were like this, like, I know what Kevin's getting at. I did say that, and you emphasized stifle.
Yes.
Like, I'm proud that I'm saying this shit.
Because it's a word I don't think you...
It's a word that George does not fucking use.
Not around you, no.
Stifle
in the office,
people?
Yes.
Stifle? Okay, go ahead.
Right. Anyway, his completion percentage, for all you people out there who don't think he's doing that well, yes, he's thrown the ball 50 less times, but his completion percentage is 0.1 difference. So, I mean, I think all you Cam Newton haters need to just give the kid a break.
They really do, man. I mean, there's a lot.
One wide receiver.
Yeah, he's got one wide receiver. And I think just what it is that if you looked at what Cam Newton did last season, he had such a good rookie year, and
it's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, it's a lot to live up to, and there's not a huge contrast, but then you think about, okay, his first season was so remarkable, and now his second season is the same thing, so no one's really like raising an eyebrow.
And I think this is why the GM got shit canned, because as the GM, it should have been your responsibility to go out and get better players to make the team better, and he didn't. He did nothing.
I mean, they didn't get anything really. They didn't do much in the offseason. So, yeah, he should be fucking gone. I think for once, Carolina got it right, and they got rid of the right person. Now,
on to something that's been exciting since week 1 this season, and that's college football.
It is actually it's unbelievable.
We're going to start with injuries in college football. Three big notable ones. Florida State loses their starting tailback. He's gone for the rest of the season with the ACL.
And I'm going to tell you what, that's going to kill Florida State. Yeah. I think it's going to kill the ACC because there's no team in the ACC that's strong now. None.
Clemson, that's about it. And Clemson's whack.
And they're whack. It's no teams. But they're gone. And then Oklahoma
gets a defensive lineman McGee back just in time for the Notre Dame game.
Now, I'm going to tell you what. I watched the Notre Dame game.
They got lucky.
They were struggling against BYU at home. And that was like, okay, now, I will say this, and you and I always said, Notre Dame is another school that has a pretty intense schedule.
This season.
Yeah. And it's like you get teams that like BYU that they're no pushover. I mean, you can't sleep on them. Remember last week I was telling you about the fucking game, LSU. I said they got to be careful because they're going to play Texas A&M. And you know what? They barely pulled it off against Texas A&M.
But they found a way.
They found a way to do that shit. But
in Nebraska, Larry Burkhead is day-to-day.
Yeah. And Burkhead, that's an awesome name.
It's Rex.
Yeah. Burkhead is day-to-day, and they need everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then some.
Because Nebraska does they're just okay,
188th.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go through the top 5 because let's face it, do we really care about anyone else?
Yeah.
I know we don't care about the 22nd school in the nation. You guys know who that is. Alabama.
Boise State? Okay, let's start with number 5. You want to go for 5?
Oh, okay. Oh, switching it up.
Switch it up, man.
Fucking thumbs.
Some trickeration.
Notre Dame, like we just said, squeaked over BYU, but they have a huge, unenviable task coming up. They have to travel to Norman and take on Oklahoma at Oklahoma, and I think this is where Notre Dame's undefeated streak comes to an end.
Yeah, they got to go to Oklahoma, and then the thing, just like George said, then they got to turn around.
No.
That's a month. Who do they play after that? Do you know?
No one's. That's why they're not on the schedule.
Yeah.
What I did with the top 5 is I put the notable games that are coming up next for these guys. And for Notre Dame, it is next week they're traveling to Norman, and then at the end of the season they have to travel to USC.
Yeah.
So it looks like even if they split these, that's pretty impressive. To go on the road and split with these two teams.
Yeah.
Not that bad. Now, on to the number 4 team in the nation Brian, you asked for a shout-out, and you're right. WVU is not what it's cracked up to be.
No, you're right. I mean, we saw something, but you know what? They do have a very gimmicky offense, kind of like you saw with Hawaii and Colt Brennan. Those guys.
Or like what was being run in Texas Tech forever.
For a while, yeah. And it's like now people are catching on to it. They're getting deeper into their schedule. They're playing tougher defenses, and they're struggling.
K-State has a chance to run the table in the Big 12 and then go into the Big 12 title game because right now, next week, they play versus Texas Tech, which I think K-State will beat. But then they have to play versus Texas on December 1.
Texas is terrible.
I understand they're terrible, but it's an in-conference game. Texas might not have – Texas might try
they
to
don't
be
have
the
anything
spoiler.
to lose. Yeah.
Can you imagine if it's between them, if they can knock off K-State and keep them out of a BCS game?
I mean, I'm going to tell you what, K-State right now, because the Big 12, I mean, other than because you lost Nebraska, you lost so many teams. I think right now it's just strictly
like the Big 4.
Yeah, it really is. It's Kansas State. I mean, if it was a few years ago when you had Nebraska and everybody else, Missouri, yeah, but man, there's nobody in there to challenge them except for Oklahoma. So, do they even play Oklahoma, or did they play them?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Maybe one of you guys can tell us that. But I think Kansas State's going to run the table. I really do.
I think they're going to lose to Texas.
You do? You think it's going to be one of those fucked up games?
Yep.
Those fucking Valley games. That's what I call them. It's like, okay, they're easy. Bam. Fuck. We're out of fucking BCS shit. That's why it's going to be so much better next year when there's a playoff.
So much good better?
So much good better, man. You never heard about good better? That's my big word.
Sounds like a Jewish lawyer. Good better.
Pretty. Number 3.
Oregon. The Ducks. This might be the year they go undefeated. No. They're going to lose one of these 3 games, if not 2.
Well, they beat the brakes off of Arizona State because this score they had put up 43 points halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then they just put in the 45th string.
Yeah. But in 2 weeks they have to play USC.
Yep.
And then that's followed up with Stanford, and then that's followed up with Oregon State. And
I believe the lucky thing about them is that all these games they're all at home. And Oregon is a hard place to play.
Yes.
So they could run the table.
They're not.
But I'm going to tell you what. Let's move on to the number 2 team in the country. And I'm going to tell you what. This to me right now as of this far into the season is my national champion. I really think that. Well, I think they're the best team in college football right now. On both sides of the ball.
This gets us into a situation where we could see 2 SEC teams play in the title game and turn around and play in the national title.
Yeah.
Because if Bama and Florida run the table and meet each other in the SEC title game and they lose, do you have a rematch? Last year it was the 3rd time they played was the national title.
Right. See, it's fucking crazy. I mean,
because Florida destroyed South Carolina, and at the time, South Carolina, we all thought that South Carolina was going to be one of those teams to beat at the end of the season, and they absolutely destroyed South Carolina, 44-10 or 11. My bad.
I mean, Florida can put up points; they've shown that, and against a good team.
But they have to get past Georgia next week. And then they have a nice break, and by break I mean they don't play anyone that I think they should lose to. Then they have to play Florida State.
Yeah, which can always be squirrely, you know.
That's one of those. That's like an NFC East game.
Yeah.
If the Redskins only win 2 games and it's against the Cowboys, it's just a successful season.
Yeah, it really is. I still think they're going to be in the SEC championship and they're going to meet Bama. I think that's how it'll be. I mean, honestly, I think it might be jumping a gun. I don't think Alabama is this year as good as everybody thinks they are. That's just my personal opinion. I think that if
we will find out this week.
Yeah. You're going to. Do they play your boy?
At LSU this week.
Yeah.
I have a feeling with Zach Mettenberg. Well, Alabama's undefeated. They destroyed Tennessee, and now Alabama has to play another, I'd almost say, arch rival, nemesis, the bad guy. They have to go to LSU.
Yeah.
But as bad as Zach Mettenberg has played, he has not showed up week in. He showed his ass week in and week out. He's not a good quarterback.
Yeah, he just I don't know though, man. I just don't think
I hope.
I mean, Alabama
in
their running back is not in the best health. You know what I mean? If he goes down, Alabama, I just really think if they lose that part of their running game, and that is a lot of their football, pounding it, they're in big trouble. And that's where you might see.
I'd love to see LSU. I've said since the beginning I think Alabama's going to lose to LSU. I've said it, and I'm going to say it again. I want LSU to beat Bama. And then it'll be interesting to see while Florida – Florida would –
I tell you how it could work out. LSU could beat Bama. Okay? All right? And this is funny for you Alabama fans. Florida could run the table, which they have a good chance of doing. LSU could beat Bama. And then in the title game, Florida could beat LSU, and by that time
they're on the same side. They can't play.
Who is?
Florida and LSU are on the same side of the SEC.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So here's what.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
Here's what's going to happen. Alabama's going to lose to LSU, play in the SEC title game, beat Florida. Florida will have its only loss in the SEC title game. So then you're going to have Bama and Florida with one loss apiece, and one of them is going to play in the national title.
If LSU beats them, though.
But if LSU beats Bama, Bama's still on their side going to go to the title game.
No, but if the problem is if LSU, we're getting really into this, but if LSU beats Bama, they don't go to the title game because Florida has run the table, right? Now, then you'll have Bama beats Florida, then you have Bama and LSU playing again. Because think about it, it's only one loss. And LSU beat Bama. So you would have to say, okay, Florida wins the SEC title, but got beat by LSU. But it's crazy.
But you know what's going to happen?
What?
Oregon and K-State are going to run the table, and this is moot. Because there's so many other factors.
That's why we need the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't wait till that shit happens. Anyway, we're fucking done with college football. You guys tell us who you think in it. Let's start taking the bids and saying who does everybody.
Everyone pick who's going. Well, I mean, for the 8 people who watch this video 30 times a piece. First off, thank you.
Yeah.
For you people who aren't watching our football shit, you need to watch it more.
Yeah.
And third off, tell us who you have in your national title game.
Right.
And not just don't go. I mean,
tell us who you think is going to win. Who's going to go in the SEC? Tell us, break it down. Who's going to go in the Pac-10? Who's SEC?
Go with your logical, makes the most sense picks, and then tell us who you'd like to see, like your heart. Like me, I'd love to see LSU. Is there I doubt it, but I'd love to see them in the national title game versus Oregon.
That would be.
I think it would just be fun. It'd be a track meet. I got to watch them play last year, but that's who I'd want. Now. Who do I think's going to play? I think it's either going to be.
When they played Auburn, Oregon, it was a pretty good game for a while, wasn't it?
I do not remember.
I can't either.
Yeah.
When Auburn played, because that's the last time you saw them.
National title game is going to be Alabama versus either Oregon or K-State. One of those two.
I'm going to tell you what I think would be a really good game. The way shows, I would love to see just a mix-up of like maybe Florida and K-State. I want to see 2 undefeated teams.
Yeah, I would too.
Anyway, okay.